Imagine a city, a single city, cleaved in two by a concrete barrier, a wall that didn't just divide streets, but families, friends, and futures. This wasn't a medieval fortress. This was the Berlin Wall, a scar that ran through the heart of Germany for nearly 3 decades. How did this happen? How did a wall, a symbol of division and oppression, come to define a generation and an entire global conflict? Let's go back in time to understand its story. Our story begins not with bricks and mortar, but with the end of the Second World War. In 1945, a defeated Germany was carved up by the victorious Allied powers, the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and the Soviet Union. The capital, Berlin, deep inside the Soviet zone, was also divided into 4 sectors. What started as a temporary administrative solution soon became a permanent fixture of a new global struggle, the Cold War. On one side, the Western Allies championed democracy and capitalism, merging their zones to form West Germany and their sectors in Berlin to create West Berlin. On the other, the Soviet Union imposed a communist regime, creating East Germany with East Berlin as its capital. West Berlin became a glaring anomaly island of freedom and prosperity, floating in a sea of communist control. For East Germans yearning for a different life, it was a beacon of hope and an escape hatch. An escape they did. Throughout the 1950s, a torrent of people fled East Germany for the West, most of them through the porous border in Berlin. We're not talking about a small trickle. We're talking about millions of people. This brain drain was a disaster for the East German economy. It was losing its brightest and most skilled workers, engineers, doctors, teachers, and young people full of potential. The East German government, backed by the Soviet Union, knew it had to stop this mass exodus. The open border in Berlin was, in their words, a wound that needed to be closed. Then came the night of August 12, 1961. Under the cover of darkness, East German soldiers and police descended upon the border. They unspooled miles and miles of barbed wire, tore up streets, and sealed the crossing points between East and West Berlin. By the morning of August 13th, the city awoke to a shocking new reality. What was once a simple stroll across a street was now a journey across an impassable barrier. Families were separated in an instant. People who had crossed to the other side for a movie or a visit with relatives suddenly found themselves trapped, unable to return home. The initial barbed wire fence was just the beginning. Over the next few years, this makeshift barrier was fortified into a monstrous and sophisticated structure. It became not just one wall, but 2 parallel walls, creating a terrifying death strip in between. This no man's land was a gauntlet of tripwires, anti-vehicle trenches, beds of nails, and most menacingly, armed guards in watchtowers with shoot-to-kill orders. The Berlin Wall became the most potent symbol of the Iron Curtain, the ideological and physical boundary that divided Europe. Life on either side of the wall was a world apart. In West Berlin, life continued with the vibrant energy of a free city, though always under the shadow of the wall. It was a hub of culture, protest, and Western identity. For East Berliners, the wall was a constant, suffocating presence. It was a daily reminder of their confinement. The state's secret police, the Stasi, created a climate of fear and suspicion, encouraging citizens to spy on one another. Any sign of dissent was brutally crushed. Yet the human spirit is not so easily contained. The story of the Berlin Wall is also a story of incredible courage and ingenuity. People attempted to escape in the most desperate and creative ways imaginable. They dug tunnels, hid in secret compartments of cars, flew in homemade hot air balloons, and even tried to tightrope walk across the wires. Some made it to freedom, but many others were caught or tragically lost their lives in the attempt. Each escape story, whether successful or failed, became a legend, a testament to the unquenchable thirst for freedom. For 28 years, the wall stood. Presidents came and went. In 1963, John F. Kennedy famously declared, "Ich bin ein Berliner," I am a Berliner, in a powerful show of solidarity with the city's western half. In 1987, Ronald Reagan stood at the Brandenburg Gate and issued a direct challenge to the Soviet leader, Mr. Gorbachev, "Tear down this wall." These words echoed around the world, but still, the wall remained. But by the late 1980s, the foundations of the Soviet Empire were cracking. Economic stagnation and calls for reform were sweeping across Eastern Europe. In Poland, the Solidarity movement gained ground. Hungary opened its border with Austria, creating a new escape route for East Germans. The pressure was building, and the East German government was losing control. Protests erupted in cities like Leipzig, with people chanting "Wir sind das Volk," "We are the people." The tipping point came on November 9, 1989, and it happened almost by accident. At a rather dull press conference, an East German official named Gunter Schabowski was asked about new travel regulations. Confused and poorly briefed, he mistakenly announced that East Germans were free to cross the border, effective immediately. The news spread like wildfire. At first, there was disbelief, then cautious curiosity. Crowds began to gather at the checkpoints along the wall. The border guards, without clear orders, were overwhelmed. Faced with the sheer number of people, they had a choice: open fire or open the gates. In a moment of historic significance, they chose to open the gates. The scenes that followed were pure, unadulterated joy. People flooded through, laughing, crying, and embracing strangers from the other side. West Berliners greeted them with flowers and champagne. People climbed onto the wall, dancing and chipping away at the concrete with hammers and chisels. The symbol of division had become the world's biggest party. The fall of the Berlin Wall was not just the end of a physical barrier, it was the beginning of the end of the Cold War. It paved the way for German reunification less than a year later and heralded the collapse of communist regimes across Eastern Europe. Today, only small sections of the Berlin Wall remain, preserved as a memorial and a museum. They stand as a solemn reminder of a divided past, but also as a powerful symbol of unity and the triumph of the human spirit over oppression. The story of the wall teaches us that no barrier, no matter how imposing, can permanently divide people or extinguish the desire for freedom. Thank you for joining me on this journey through history. If you found this story compelling, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the past. Let us know in the comments what you think is the most powerful lesson from the story of the Berlin Wall. Thanks for watching.